Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the maintenance and as well as a fair few other things, because it started with a maintenance video and I kind of wanted to give Kabam a bit of a slack, which I'm going to explain a bit later about the game going down. Obviously we're going to talk about the issues and the problems that we're facing right now and how much it affected the other players and how Kabam should approach rectifying this huge kerfuffle that they made. However, as I was making this video, I also started making a list of kind of like Kabam wins and losses within the recent month or so, and I must say it does not look good for Kabam at all. I didn't even realize myself they had screwed up so many things within the last month, and we're gonna go through them in a bit as well. But first things first, the game went down for 6 to 8 hours, something like that. What did it mean for players? It was middle of AQ, it was middle of LW season, it's beginning of new month, so EQ is live, Legends runs are active. So the most kind of like impactful issues here were you were unable to finish AQ map, so you lost the rewards there. You also lost your total ranking as a result of it if your alliance hadn't finished the map before it went down. So that's a huge problem. The bigger problems, I think, though, is with Alliance War and Alliance War Season, because that is a month-long kind of process. And, well, first things first, if you lost a war because of maintenance, it sucks. It's bad. You lose Alliance War rewards, you lose some points towards the season, and you might rank lower. The far worse implication, though, is if you were unable to enlist for next war, because that basically means you lose all of the next war points, which basically means you pretty much lose 6-7 wars straight in a row and absolutely destroy your Alliance War season and end up a bracket or two lower than your alliance should, just for missing this one war. Therefore, you will be losing for a lot of rewards when the season ends, which is by far the bigger issue. And obviously, new EQ. I know for a fact several people messaged me what to do as well. When the game went down, they were in the middle of the Legends run, they had put the boosts on, they had spent the energy refills, and the game goes down. So your Legends run doesn't count, and you can't redo it, and basically you waste your time, your preparation, obviously your boosts and refills, and frustration. There's a lot of problems there as well. So, we can only hope Kabam actually fully understands the issues and the implications this has caused to the players. Now I can put a hand up and say our alliance kind of got away with it pretty much scot-free. We had our AQ finished all 3 days. We had just won our war, and we also enlisted in the next one. So in that kind of aspect, we didn't really suffer as much. However, there's still obviously a lot of frustration and inconvenience. But here's the thing though, because Kabam can't possibly judge how heavily each alliance was affected and each player within the alliance, because there are a lot of kind of individual issues with your event quest, with your refills, with your boosts, arena downtime, missing out on grinds or whatever, and obviously then there's alliance stuff. So they are much more likely to go for some sort of standard package. Now, ideally, I would prefer that package to be tiered based on your account progression level, based on your account, your alliance, where it is. There should be several kind of tiers of this package. However, if they go to the route of selecting one kind of package that should be fit for all, that's perfectly fine as well. Hopefully, it will include some units, refills, boosts, AQ items, so on and so forth. That would be the one side of it, right? So let's hope they don't take too long with it, they don't take a month with it, they keep us updated, and that should be fine. Like, I mean, let's face it, it happened. There is nothing you or I can do to change that fact. Best is just kind of move on. And I also don't want to give too much kind of slack and pretend to be outraged that the game went down, it's unacceptable. No, I mean, stuff happens, you need to deal with it. I'm sure it was not intentional, and I'm sure they did everything they could to bring back the game as quickly as they could. And once again, for this one single incident, it's like an isolated issue, I don't want to be too upset or too outraged. It might be just because my alliance didn't suffer as much as somebody else's, or it might be just because once again, it's life, it's game, it's technology. It breaks, something goes wrong in coding. And so long as instead of bickering and being angry and yelling at the entire world how unfair it is, we can ask the right questions that we need to know moving forward and make sure Kabam does the appropriate actions to ensure that these things do not happen again, or at least they have a lot less chance to happen again. I think we should kind of like be fine moving forward. But at the same time, I start making this tally about Kabam's wins and losses, because not too long ago I made a video for the first time in like forever saying that I'm super excited for the month of November because October was super dull. So let's go over some of the things from that announcement, and let's start with login calendars upgraded to progression level. And it was lazy, it's bad, it's fairly rubbish. They're giving us free tier 2 alpha months, which doesn't really mean that much to a Cavalier player. A lot of people actually got their calendar downgraded from 5-star shards to 4-star shards or whatnot if they hadn't reached some sort of progression level. So yeah, I did not like the calendar redesign. I think it's lazy. Vast majority of stuff didn't scale, and it's nothing to get excited about, so that goes in Kabam a loss column. Community-wide event, first time ever, we're all working towards for a common goal. Hard to imagine worse rewards, hard to imagine me being less enticed to somehow play extra or do more. So that's definitely a huge loss for Kabam. Side event, now side event obviously still is a huge loss. Rewards, that is the one win that they did, that they listened to community feedback. And upgrading the rewards is a win. But few days in this event, I can already immediately tell that it is another grind fest. It doesn't feel special, it doesn't feel interesting. Only reason you do it now is because of the rewards. If they hadn't upgraded the rewards, you probably wouldn't really do it in the first place. So side event as such still goes in loss column as far as it goes to measuring how interesting and enticing it is. Rewards update obviously is a win for Kabam. Now 6.3 announcement, huge kind of excitement for me personally, because that is a piece of content I was really looking forward to. Rewards, crap. Content yet to see, so that's another loss so far. Then obviously we had AQ modifiers, which I'm gonna leave neutral. Nothing too horrible or nothing great happened with that. It's just a new thing. They might like to advertise it as optional, but it's really not, especially for endgame alliances. There is no choice but to do that, but to run these modifiers if you want to maintain the ranking, because they will affect your total score. So if anything, it's more so a burden, not a win. And yeah, so we can see all the stuff that we got excited for from this announcement. To date, it's been super disappointing. Didn't judge Dr. Doom and Mr. Fantastic yet, because I would like to see them more a bit before I make my judgments on that. However, we can also judge the fact that we did not have a Halloween calendar this year, so that's another loss in Kabam column. The offers that have been coming, this Apple exclusive offer and many others, it's hard to remember a time when I saw so many offers I had absolutely no interest in. And it has never been easier to pass an offer up. It's as if they don't really want my money anymore, because it definitely seems that they have stopped trying to entice me, or at least endgame players, to buy these things. Because, yeah, they're just not great. The champion release over the last couple of months is another loss in Kabam column, because let's face it, a lot of these champions feel like they're missing stuff and are nothing to get overly excited about. Remember when Namor was coming out, remember when Call Obsidian was coming out, even Ebony Maw initially was hyped before his damage output was evidently nerfed. Now that we have Elza Bloodstone, that seems to be a damage champ without a real damage. Now Man-Thing, which seems to be a tank that's made squishy, lacking some immunities. And Vision Arcus, that's not immune to anything somehow. And yeah, it's just has not been a great streak. There have not been many champions that I have been like really wanting to acquire. These designs, they seem kind of watered down last minute. I think Elsa Bloodstone was initially meant to come out with a lot more damage than she actually did. I think Vision was meant to have some more explosiveness with those power gains than he actually did. I think that Man-Thing used to be sturdier and those numbers look better in damage department when it comes to regen, when it comes to fury and stuff like that, and I think those got nerfed last minute. And it's just kind of seems like a lot of these champions get ruined just like Ebony Maw did with the numbers. Because these abilities are fairly interesting. They might not be something extremely game breaking, but there is just no numbers to justify the lack of utilities kind of behind them. So yeah, that is also a concerning trend, I believe. It's kind of like they released Call Obsidian, who hit hard but was hard to sustain, but they just looked at the damage output and then they immediately realized that no, from this point forward, no champion this year will hit hard ever again. Black Widow Clairvoyant, fantastic utilities, still no damage numbers. Elsa Bloodstone, hardly any utilities, still no damage. It's just one of those things that it definitely seems that somebody is kind of sabotaging these champions before we get them, and at least that's my idea of it. Another horrible thing that I don't see mentioned too often, it definitely, within 1 week, we had 3 offers for TFIB, kind of like Monday, Wednesday and Friday or something like that, where basically Kabam sold 2.5 TFIBs in a week on offers, clearly to millions of players. Now, how much is 2.5 TFIBs? It's pretty much double the amount you get for an entire war season if you place in first. So that is another thing that I think Kabam definitely needs to do better, and they do need to spread these offers out, because at this point it becomes pretty much irrelevant if you play the game, even if you win the stuff in the game, because again, a month work, a month effort of being the best in the game, potentially finishing Alliance War season in first place, would give you less than somebody who logs in casually and just buys these offers in a week and he can kind of catch up to you. So that is another thing that I definitely will put in Kabam's losing column. They are way overselling TFIB Catalyst frags, and they are not giving us opportunity to earn them enough. Again, 2.5 TFIBs in a week sold. That's the amount we're going to get for 6.3. That's double the amount we get for Alliance War season. It's stupid. It's crazy. It's as if Kabam is telling us, don't bother playing this game so long as you pay us, you'll be fine. And if you don't want to pay us, no matter how good you are, you're not going to catch up, kind of thing. Because all the time up until now, there seemed to be kind of like a relative balance of how much of this endgame stuff you could access with offers, how much you could earn. Now this balance has definitely shifted far more to the point where you can buy a lot more than you can earn, and that is really worrisome. But yeah, so let's move on with the next mess ups Kabam has. Medusa bugged for 3 months in a row. She got bugged, she got fixed, she got bugged, she got fixed. Because yeah, Medusa is still not working, her armor breaks is not working as they should. So once again, they released in patch note that they fixed Medusa, and they didn't. They just broke her in a different way, less beneficial to the player, which I would also be willing to speculate they did on purpose, being unable to sort the issue out entirely. They just kind of like settled for changing Medusa to a way where she still does not function the way she should, but at least the players won't benefit from it anymore, kind of thing. Aegon was bugged last update where his Unstoppable didn't work on intercepts, I think, or basically his intercepts didn't work over 750 combo. Well, now his synergies are broken when his combo shield doesn't work. So this is again the case of seemingly somebody incompetent touches one thing on a champion and everything else falls down. Also, I have heard a lot of bugs about True Strike recently not functioning as it should, because True Strike is meant to ignore all the resistances Apparently crit resistance doesn't count because True Strike does not ignore it with Chorus, for instance, and your guaranteed crits are not guaranteed anymore, even if you have True Damage or True Strike active. And there are many more bugs that are coming in, and it really kind of gets you wondering how much effort is put in sorting out a bug, because in case of Medusa, they tried to sort it twice, they released new updates, and every single time it failed. In case of Aegon, they tried to sort out one bug, they created another yet again. And that got me on a train of thought, kind of like that we are always outraged. We are asking the question why it happened and what will you give us for it as a compensation, when I think we should be asking what are you doing for it not to happen again. That is a very important question. Like, if you work in any company, if you make a mistake, and if it turns out this mistake is occurring again and again and again, I will get asked by my superior a simple question: what have you done to make sure it doesn't happen again? And I think that is exactly the question that we all as a community should ask about right about now, because unfortunately I think we have entered a state where we find these inadequacies acceptable. No, it's not normal that every month a new bug appears on a champion who is supposed to be fixed. No, it's not normal that you fix a bug champion 3 times and it's still bugged. No, it's not normal that nodes or abilities do not function the way they should, no matter how you say. And we have accepted this. It's a running joke. Trukos blasts this update, this and that happening. At the bottom of the sheet it says plus new bugs. Right? It's a running joke, but it shouldn't be. I think we should realistically be asking and constantly kind of like pushing for answers on a question as simple as what are you doing to make sure it doesn't happen again? What are you doing to make sure the game doesn't go down again for 8 hours? What are you doing again to make sure that the champion that you release is not bugged, or even worse, that the champion that you supposedly fixed after a bug is in fact not bugged? Even the new champions that come out, look at Warlock. Warlock came out, he was reducing all the abilities, which allegedly was not right. Now, Kabam had a chance to give him Symbiote Supreme treatment and adjust the ability description and make him a better champion. What did they choose to do? They worked tirelessly throughout the day and night to actually make him work as his abilities stated him originally, but it doesn't change the fact that he came out bugged. So it's frustrating. There are a lot of losses in Kabam calling, with one being the one time they listened to us was a simple fix of updating the rewards. And don't get me wrong, you're talking about digital goods. It doesn't cost the company anything to give players more rewards. That's a band-aid, that's a patch. What we should be asking is for a fairly kind of drastic change of the idea itself, how they approach these problems. Change of the idea what is and what is not acceptable. These bugs are not fucking okay. It's not alright to have every new champion or every other new champion bugged, or every month we are having more and more issues with our champions. And I am definitely interested in a lot of these answers. What are you, Kabam, as a company currently doing to make sure these don't happen again? Or that the next champion comes out alright and is not bugged? Unfortunately, obviously, we will probably never find out, but it definitely doesn't hurt to ask the question, and perhaps that will at least make them think about it a tiny bit. Anyways, guys, that will be it for me today. That's what I think of the maintenance. Maintenance happened. We have to move on. We just need to make sure it is dealt with appropriately from now on. But yeah, also a lot of mess, a lot of losses in Kabam column, I think, and a lot of things we should be asking them, because I think we deserve better. Do you think that we deserve better from them? If you do, then let's do something about it. Alright, that will do for today, and see you guys.